Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for brandonsimmons.biz, and this is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. So, this week, the Texans are going to be going on the road to face the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round of the AFC playoffs. Now, I'm going to get into all that on what the Texans got to do to handle their business and walk out of there with a W, but let me go ahead and do this game recap real quick that they did against the Browns. So, Texans, simply put, they just went in there and handled their business in that game, straight up. Um, it was a great win by this team. It was a great redeeming win by this team, man. As I mentioned, going into this game, a couple of weeks before this game, the Texans got blew out. You know what I'm saying? They got beat down in this game by the Cleveland Browns on in NRG Stadium. So fast forward to last weekend, Texans was like, no, it's not gonna happen again. We're gonna come in here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna really show out, and we got our quarterback in this lineup that we didn't have before in that first game, and hey, they handled business. They dog walked the Browns. So I've been holding on to that one. Sorry, but like I said, man, just a great game, completely redeeming game overall. Defense did their thing. I know Derek Barnett, he stood out to me. I don't have my notes from the previous game, but yeah, Barnett. Uh, yeah, he didn't have a huge stat line, but he had an important stat line. One tackle, excuse me, combined for two tackles, a tackle for a loss, and he had a sack. In addition to the sack that he was putting the pressure on like quite a few plays to actually generate sacks. You know what I'm saying? So he was real big on the pass rush this past weekend, considering that we got a couple injuries along that defensive line. Um, in addition to Barnett showing out, the two pick sixes, man, in the third quarter, like, come on, dog. Like, at that point, it was lit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just refreshing to see that type of performance from this team, especially on the defensive side. Because I'm always talking about the offense. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, C.J. Stroud over there, that's real important. But I don't think the defense gets enough credit because they've been really balling out this year, and in that game, they really held it down. So big ups to the defense. Now going to the offense because obviously they did their thing as well. C.J. Stroud, as I mentioned, he wasn't in the first matchup against the Browns, but he came back in this one. Actually, I think it was like third straight game that he's been back overall since leaving concussion protocol. So he came in this game, threw for 274 yards, three touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. So he was in a clean pocket. Nico Collins, big beneficiary of that stat line, 6 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown in this game. So who else? Devin Singletary, 13 carries, 66 yards. You know what I'm saying? Had a touchdown, 5 yards to carry. So overall, this offense was on point. This defense was on point. And while I give credit to the players, I have to like really just give credit to this coaching staff for having this team prepared week in and week out. Having them prepared to come in and compete, whether it's on the road, at home, against a big opponent against a smaller opponent. You know what I'm saying? They just really had these guys coming in and out, ready to just fight. You know what I'm saying? Fight for 60 minutes. And this past game was no different. These guys, they knew what they were up against. They knew what players are out there. They were going to face Amari Cooper, who had an extravagant game in the first matchup, but he only finished the game with like 4 catches, 59 yards. Damn near quiet. You know what I'm saying? So, um, big ups to this coaching staff for like just really, putting in the game plan and, having the players execute that game plan to damn near perfection. Amazing job by this Texans. Probably one of the best wins in franchise history, if I'm just, being honest. So, that's all I got for that game. Moving on, injury report. pull that up real quick. And I'm recording this on Wednesday, so no telling how official this injury report will be by the time the Texans play for Saturday. So Andrew Beck, he's listed as did not practice on both days. Same thing for Jerry Hughes. Um, Will Anderson listed as did not practice, but was a limited participant yesterday. Oh, Sheldon Rankins also did not practice for both days, for Tuesday and Wednesday so far. Um, Jonathan Gennard, he was a limited participant yesterday, but he's listed as did not practice today. Um, John Michie, Denzel Perryman, Robert Woods, all limited participants today. Um, so it's limited. Also, Christian Harris, a limited participant yesterday, but nothing listed for him today. So everything's looking like, you know what I'm saying, it's a go. I know last week there was like a couple of them that were listed. I recorded on the same day, last Wednesday or whatever, and there were a couple of them that were like, did not practice and all this other stuff. And then lo and behold, around Friday or Saturday, they're listed as good to go. So hopefully that's the case here. A lot of those DMPs are going to be listed as good to go, or they're able to like get back in a full practice mode by the time the weekend approaches. So hope I blocked that out so I don't get my video shut down for anything. Um. So yeah. Moving on. It's game time, man. I I know the Texans fans are excited because I've every Texans post I done seen from the fans this week. They've been talking mad noise, and I love it. I know Baltimore is Baltimore, but I love the energy that this fan base has right now. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and get into this game. So Texans are going to be playing the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to be on the road in Baltimore in the divisional round of the AFC playoffs. So I probably do want to check the weather just in case, so I can see like what I'm saying, what's really going to be going on, and if we're going to have one of those Kansas City situations. But in the meantime, this is going to be a I want to say it's going to be a similar game to what the Cleveland game was this past weekend. Let me get this weather. Oh wow! Of course, Baltimore has 24-degree weather. What else? Let me see if I get the daily. Oh yeah, 27, 27 degrees, 22 degrees, 27 degrees high on on Saturday. So that's gonna be crazy. But I'm gonna just go ahead and go with this. Um, so yeah, heading into this game, I kind of got the feeling that it's going to be similar to what this Cleveland game was going to be. So it's going to be a game that the Texans play. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be an opponent. Yeah, it's going to be a game that the Texans are going to play against an opponent that, you know what I'm saying, beat them pretty decisively in the first matchup. So we know they got blew out by Cleveland in the regular season. Um, Same thing with the Baltimore Ravens. We opened the season on the road in Baltimore and they beat us pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? And so at that time, that was a Houston Texans team that was had its first start by its rookie franchise quarterback, but also there are a lot of questionable things going on, particularly injuries amongst the offensive line. So the protection wasn't that great. I think Stroud got sacked like 5 times in that game. And so if the O line isn't that great, running game isn't going to be sharp, ain't going to be too keen as well. So that was a little bit sputtering, if you will. So all that went down. Fast forward to now, and team's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Stroud, he has like obviously has more experience. His play has risen exponentially since then. Okay. His play has risen exponentially since then. The team has played a lot better. Everybody's like kind of shedding the injuries off and everything. So now this team has made it to the playoffs, and it's looking like a tough team. So with that being said, here's a few things that the Texans got to do uh, if they want to get a win this Saturday. Uh, First, contain Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is still cold. I don't know. I don't know if people need to be reiterated that a little bit, but he's still nice. You know what I'm saying? So this year, I know there was a lot of chatter about you know him coming in, getting a new contract, and now he has a new offense that he's gonna have to work through. So with the new offense, it's gonna what I'm saying, let him pass more, throw the ball more. Well, that's kind of worked out for him. He has career highs in completions, completion percentage, and passing yards this season. So all career highs, you know what I'm saying? And in addition to those career highs, he still leads the team in rushing. And you know, Lamar it's probably not so much because um, that he can scramble like crazy, because he can still scramble like crazy. I don't know if you saw the 49ers game when he broke that one run, but what I'm saying, Baltimore has had a lot of injuries with running backs, especially J.K. Dobbins, who's out for the season right now. So, what I'm saying, he's kind of taking it up on himself to really kind of fill that role. And I'm not going to call him a running back because he ain't a running back. Definitely showing y'all he's not a running back. But um, what I'm saying, he's taking on that rushing role a little bit, and it shows that he's still like a very much a dual threat quarterback. So the key thing is you're gonna have to, what I'm saying, try to contain him. The last game we got to him, we got 4 sacks in that game off of him. We sacked him 4 times. And I think he was still like still trying to get used to that offense, so he was still kind of reverting to that whole um, what I'm saying, scrambling and stuff, those scramble tendencies, and we just kind of caught up to him on that. This game, I think is going to be key, that we just rush them, but with a little bit of discipline. You know what I'm saying? So when we rush them, don't rush up, up the field and give them a lane like behind the defender. Like it's gonna have to be a lot of containment for him. More than likely, there's probably going to be a spy out there on him just to make sure he doesn't break free or anything. But definitely rush to contain him. You know what I'm saying? Force him to throw out that pocket. Take away his running yards. And so we have the cornerbacks good enough to kind of, what I'm saying, really hold the receivers or whatever and kind of take away routes. But definitely it's going to start with this defense just rushing them and containing them. Second thing that needs to happen, offense. C.J. Stroud has to get rid of the ball quickly. And so Stroud's pretty accurate with throwing passes. Like he will pinpoint those things, man. It's crazy. Um, but a real key for him in this game is he's going to have to really just the timing is just going to have to be right. You know what I'm saying? And so it's he the receivers, they're going to have to fight to get open, to get where they need to be. Uh, and that's just really it. You know what I'm saying with that, because this Ravens team, number one sack team in the league. So they'll get to the quarterback without question. You know what I'm saying? They lead the league in sacks. I think it's Matabuke. I think he leads the team in sacks. So it's definitely going to be like there's going to be some trouble from that pass rush. So the best thing to do is get rid of that ball quickly. And even if in the Ravens defense, they're pretty smart. Um, they'll I'm pretty sure studied tape. And I'm pretty sure they're studying tape right now. You know what I'm saying? Like real intently. So they probably might pick up on like Stroud hitting a favorite receiver or something like that. My answer to that is obviously just find a different receiver. And Stroud, he's good for that. You know, he's right, probably one of the best at finding different receivers. And that's part of the reason why a lot of guys, like when we had our injuries with different receivers, with Nico Collins, with Tank Dell, when either of those guys went down, it was kind of easy for Noah Brown to step up, for John Mechie to step up. Because even with Collins and Dell in the game, Stroud was seen to like find a Noah Brown, find a John Mechie, even if it wasn't at the frequency of those two starting wide receivers, he was still making an effort to find them. So that's going to be key as well as far as like getting rid of the ball quickly, just finding that quicker route to get rid of the ball and just kind of wear down that pass rush. Offensive line, they've improved since the last game. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think they're going to fend off this pass rush and just delay it and slow it down long enough for Stroud to just really get the ball off to one of his playmakers. So, um, third and final thing, the Texans have to play unintimidated this weekend. So the way they went and faced the Browns, how they approached the Browns, they have to do that. Um, they have to do that with this Ravens team. Like simple as that. Um, like everybody knows, this Ravens group, they've been kind of they're far removed from that last Super Bowl team, straight up. You know, obviously Ray Lewis is gone. Obviously Joe Flacco is gone from that Ravens team, but they're far removed from that. But they've rebuilt this team as like still one of the more elite teams in this league. Still one of the more tougher teams to face in this league, whether regular season or playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So they went to San Francisco on, you know, the regular season, and it was a game that was a game San Francisco needed, and they just beat San Francisco senselessly. So you can kind of tell, like, what I'm saying, what type of time they're on right now, and especially with the playoffs, things can be a little bit more heightened. So they're going to be a little bit more intense. It's up to us to go in there and match that intensity or out intense them. You know what I'm saying? So we got to go in there and play unintimidated by them because we all know it's the Ravens. We all know they've always had a great defense. So we know about the people over there on the defense. We know about Lamar Jackson. He's still nice. As I mentioned earlier, he's still cold and he's still very much a dual threat. But we have to approach them like whatever. We still finna get this. Uh, and with that, comes execution. So execution is going to be key on both sides of the ball. And part of execution is not making penalties, because with penalties, it's going to give this Ravens team a chance to like kind of feast on the Texans, because I'm pretty sure they, what I'm saying, I'll give you like the press conference talk, like, oh yeah, we respect the Texans, it's a good team, blah 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 blah. But I feel like deep down they really don't res- respect us, which is right, justifiably so. Every team has to, what I'm saying, put something in their mind to get amped for the game. Um, but I can explain it. But at the same time, I feel like they really just feel like, this is what they got. Wow, whatever. They're just like whatever about what we got. You know what I'm saying? So, um, they're certainly not intimidated by us, and they certainly don't feel that we can make them intimidated. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But at the same time, um, we got to go in there and we gotta show them that they're not gonna push us around. And in fact, we gonna push y'all around. That's kind of the mentality Texans have to have. But you can't have that mentality that you're gonna push your opponent around unless you execute the plays. So you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure the routes are sharp, all that stuff. The blocking is right, the coverage is right. And, I have no doubt in my mind that D'Amico Ryans, he's going to have this whole team ready. He's going to have this whole coaching staff ready. they're gonna go in there and they're gonna, you know what I'm saying, really just handle their business and just execute. You know what I'm saying? So that's really gonna be the key for like this entire game plan. It's just execution, just doing things precisely and, you know what I'm saying, right. Even with the pass rush, execute a containment. You know what I'm saying? So Lamar Jackson doesn't break out and go for, a 30-yard rush or something like that. So well, that's all I got for y'all this week. Oh, I mean, okay, time. Yeah, so yeah, that's all I got for y'all this week. Um, yeah, Texans, they have to contain Lamar Jackson. Um, they have to on offense. They have to get rid of the ball quickly. And also, third and final thing, they have to play unintimidated overall. They have to go in here and be like they're expected to win this game and play like they expect to win this game. So that's all I got for y'all this week. Brandon Simmons for brandonsimmons.biz. If you're watching this on YouTube, like my video, click on the subscribe button to my page. If you're watching this on Facebook, facebook.com/BrandonBlog. Um, like my page. I got plenty more content like this that's on the way. So I'm Brandon Simmons for brandonsimmons.biz. Holla black.